In Bakemonogatari, many buildings like Aragi's high school, Senjohara's house, and the cram school where Oshina lives are depicted with uniform geometric shapes, and vibrant primary colors like yellow, red, and green. These colors are then contrasted by lighter, duller shades, and intense lighting, giving the scenes an ethereal look. The way desks are ominously placed and the singular focus on one subject emphasize the alienation often felt in academia, school life, and adolescence. The unfinished and empty buildings showcase their raw structure and foundation, reminding us of brutalist architecture, which focuses on materials and structural elements over design. These buildings, always seemingly under construction and never progressing, symbolize the world of Monogatari, empty progress. This is reflected in characters like Hachikuji, a lost girl whom Araki helps find her mother's house. Although they reunite, Hachikuji disappears only to return as an earthbound spirit, stuck in an endless cycle of wandering and meaninglessness. Bakemonogatari's animation is infamous for its avant-garde style of animation, its geometric and pattern-like representation of objects, its liminal sceneries, which most of the time looks like it came straight out of Adobe Illustrator. On the other end of the spectrum, its flowing and seamless fight scenes are so well made that they still hold up in comparison to many big animation studios and recently released animes. Shaft, the animation studio behind Monogatari, is notorious for breaking the rules, and what is or isn't allowed doesn't matter. Shaft doesn't really care about that. Cutscenes and text flashing across the scenery, clip art of real places, and people are seemingly incorporated into storytelling and follow a collage-like cohesion, only to once again go back to the original. These constant inputs of colors, abstractions, and widely different visuals is an allegory to the ever-pervasive consumerism of the 21st century, and the lack of awareness upon the dangers that are associated with it. A lack of uniformity, cohesion, and most importantly, meaning. One great example is when Senjohara retells the story of her past, where we can see her mother faceless, shown as a cutout of a real-life woman. This shift from traditional super flat art, an art style popularly used throughout most anime, and a complete disregard for any kind of cohesion or rules, is very characteristic of Shaft. In my opinion, indirectly or not, the show sarcastically mocks the viewer for its naive and predictable consumer patterns, as well as the anime industry for a lack of originality, looking only to be profitable and play on what is popular and widely accepted. This lack of underlying awareness of what is being consumed and how media influences people is not just something limited to anime, but all forms of media in the 21st century, and will only grow to hold more true as time goes on. Popularized in Evangelion, the Hedgehog's Dillemma is about a group of hedgehogs who seek to move close to one another to share heat during the cold winter. However, they must remain apart as they cannot avoid hurting one another with their sharp spines. While they wish to have a close relationship with the intention of helping each other, they are unable to do so. The story of Senjohara also has many similarities. Someone who is distant, aloof, and confrontational, Senjohara embodies the challenges of finding trust and connection among others and how her personality is a reaction of those circumstances, and also a manifestation of the weight crab, which bears the weight of her childhood trauma, mother's betrayal, and lack of companionship. Due to this, Senjohara does not understand or know how to give intimacy. She is often sardonic, mocking, and passive-aggressive in her nature. This is more or less just a front in order to avoid serious or embarrassing emotions. Senjohara is a highly calculating and rational person with a very realistic and pragmatic approach towards life. However, after spending time with Aragi, Senjohara gradually begins to mellow out and becomes more comfortable towards expressing her feelings. In today's world, there is so much systemic pressure from society.
The kids that take way too many AP classes find themselves staying up until 2 or 3 in the morning just to finish their homework.
Before you even take an AP class, you have to sign a contract saying that you will not drop the class under any circumstance.
Peers and the internet, that the feeling of connecting with others can be difficult. Trying to uphold social etiquette while somehow being friendly and sociable can feel very superficial at times, and can easily discourage many individuals from pursuing these interactions. leading to a much more self-preserving and aloof persona.
I want the A, I want that B, I want that 3.5, that 3.8, that 4.0.
Bakemonogatari runs many parallels to Japan's history as well. For those who don't know, basically, Japan's lost generation refers to the young people who entered the workforce during the economic stagnation that followed the bursting of Japan's asset price bubble in the early 1990s. During this period, there was a significant decrease in job opportunities, and it became very hard for young people to have the economic independence and opportunities their predecessors once had. This had many social and cultural impacts, such as the rise of the NEET, and also mental health issues due to economic insecurity and social challenges. Bakemonogatari has many parallels to these feelings. Senjoharu's family sinks into poverty due to her mother being influenced by a religious cult and having to give reparations for Senjoharu defending herself against the assailant her mother had brought from the cult. Even when she went to seek help from Oshino, she was asked for a hefty sum of 100,000 yen, a large amount for a high school student, illustrating the economic constraints and freedom that come with money. Another example is Aragi's household situation, where he has all the nice amenities in the world and a nice house, but his parents are forever absent, working long hours just to make ends meet, and ironically ending up in a rat race, where they no longer have the time or energy to spend with loved ones or do the things they love.
もしもし。